Hey, what's going on, everyone? Aunt Pruitt here. I hope you're doing well. I'm unbelievable as always. It is Monday, October the 27th. I wanted to do a quick little rundown about the Carolina Hornets, that Little League football team that I coached. Well, it's been a rough season from a standpoint of wins and losses. I've been frustrated by that, but it is what it is. But as of Saturday, October 25th, I have officially removed myself from coaching the team. I have also officially removed my son from playing on the team. There were some things that went down this weekend. Actually, there were some things that happened the previous weekend. Let me give you that. So last weekend, we had to play at a school up in Charlotte area. No big deal. But before the games, you have this whole official rundown and official check of the two teams that are getting ready to play. You have to check them for eligibility, okay? And I had to do my duty in checking the other team. And essentially, you have these registration cards that says they're official. And you just randomly pick out a few of them and ask them their name, ask them their birthday, and see if it matches what's on the card. Everything went well with the exception of one player, the biggest player on the team. He did not have a card. He was a polite kid, told me his name and so forth, but he did not have a card. So by the rule, he wasn't official. I mentioned this to the officiating teams, mentioned this to the foundation's vice president, the Carolina Hornet Foundation, Gordon Foundation, that is. I mentioned it to him. And I went on about my business in hopes that we would have everything squared away from an officiating standpoint and, making sure they got the right players on the field. Well, this kid played. I don't know why. I heard something about playing under protest. I didn't get it. I said, oh, whatever, just whatever. Hopefully something will be figured out on that going forward. We lost that game, by the way. We lost that game 8-0. So there's that. So this weekend, we played our first playoff game. Well, we're going to have our first playoff games this weekend. My son was asked to switch down to the tier below him to help out our other team a tier below. Because all year long we've had an issue with numbers. We just couldn't get the kids to show up on time, as far as getting their parents to bring them there all the time, as well as people would get sick or hurt and so forth. So numbers were always hard to combat for the 9 and 10s and the 11 and 12 group. So they asked my son and one other kid to help out on the other side, and I figured it was okay. Excuse me. I didn't know all of the rules and regulations, but since they asked, I thought it was okay. Well, we go to get ready to play that game, and my son's excited, and they do the registration check. My son was disqualified, as well as the other kid, because we didn't pass the regulation check, the eligibility check. And I felt horrible about that, because had I known that it didn't have some type of pass-through or some type of, loophole or what have you that allowed him to be able to do that to help field enough players on the team, I wouldn't have put him over there and faced that embarrassment and disappointment. I don't know that, speaking for my son anyway, I don't know that he was embarrassed, but I know he was disappointed because he looked forward to playing and getting more playing time over there, as well as going in and playing on his regular team, the 11 and 12 playoff game. So I immediately pulled him from that and just wanted to get him out of that environment. and headed on over to the 11 and 12 game, the game that he's supposed to be playing in anyway. We get there. I couldn't get into the gate. I'm a coach, but I couldn't get into the gate. This has happened for the last 3 weeks for some reason. But the last 3 weeks I was able to successfully get in. I just used my charm, what have you, I don't know. But either way, they didn't have me as an eligible coach. Didn't know why, didn't understand why. But this weekend I found out is because they didn't have me under some other registration thing, something I still didn't know anything about. And I take responsibility for that because I should have known. But I said, you know what, no worries. I'm going to send these players in. I will pay the fees to get in or whatever. And I will sit in the stands and just root on my team. Pre-game shows up. Pre-game registration and eligibility check shows up. And for lack of better terms, all hell broke loose. Why? Because both sides of the ball, both teams, were in question about having players on their team that were illegal, essentially. My head coach, my team, we had at least one kid on our staff that was pulled from being finished in middle school football. He fit the age, but he was going to be put onto our team. Again, I thought that I didn't know how all of this worked from an eligibility standpoint. I assumed that once he was finished that season, he was under the weight requirements and so forth, had the grades and had all of the other paperwork checked out, he would be able to play. I don't know, didn't know the rules. Come to find out, no, you couldn't do that if you didn't have one of those cards. He didn't have one of those cards. So, and the fact is, he didn't have one of those cards, and there was never any intent on getting those cards. It was essentially cheating. And I couldn't deal with that for 2 weeks in a row. The first week, it was from the other team. And the second week, it was from my own team. And honestly, folks, I've been asking for the support of all of you that's been following me and watching these videos. And I've been so grateful for the support and monetary donations that you all put in to this organization and to the teams that we have. But it really, really hurt my feelings to see what happened. It was bad enough to where the game was canceled. The playoff game was canceled because of eligibility. And I have to disassociate myself from that. I am so sorry to be making this video and bringing this video to the folks that have supported me privately regarding this team and just giving everybody kudos on this. I hope the Gordon Foundation gets everything squared away and figure out all of this paperwork issues and communication and the loopholes, and I hope all of that works. But I cannot be a part of this anymore. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a perfect man, but I will not intentionally put a player on my own team that is not eligible. I will not do that. That's cheating. I will not allow my son to see something like that and think that it's okay. You know, I asked my son about this. I asked his thoughts, and he understood exactly what happened. He understood that it was not his fault. He understood the severity. He understood that it was wrong. And I told him, I'm pulling him. I don't want him a part of it. He didn't like that idea. But he eventually, had a change of heart, and we talked about it more, and he understood why I felt the way I felt. So, again, thank you all for the support over this season. Good luck to the Carolina Hornets from all levels. I know the Tiny Mites and Mighty Mites and the JV and varsity, they may continue to have games. The Tiny Mites and Mighty Mites seem to be okay. Those are the two younger squads. And it's a lot of fun watching those kids play. They play so hard. But thank you all for the support. I appreciate the Gordon Foundation giving me the opportunity to, be involved. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of hard work, but I enjoyed it. Till next time, just subscribe to the channel and check out the next video that comes up on deck. Sorry for the long video, but I needed to get this out and share it with you all because it was so much love shared to me to begin with. Y'all have a good day. Let's take Monday and just dominate it. Peace out.